hero or villain? We got to learn so much about the new Disney Destiny, Disney Cruise Line's newest ship. We're going to go through all of it today on the Diz Unlimited's DCL show. Hello and welcome to the Diz Unlimited's DCL show. I'm Chris Forbeck, one of the agents at Dreams Unlimited Travel. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. The Disney Destiny. It will be the 7th ship in the Disney Cruise Line fleet, the 3rd of the Wish class ships, along with the Disney Wish and Disney Treasure. It will make its debut in November. But the Disney Cruise Line gave us a little bit of a deeper look at parts of this ship, and we're going to get into all sorts of details about that. And of course, let me introduce our colleagues who are here to talk about it. Of course, my colleague for this show and at Dreams Unlimited Travel agent Elaine Edwards. Hello, Elaine.
Good morning. Hi, friends.
And theme park correspondent for the Diz, DCL fan, UO fan, Diz Unlimited. Oh my goodness, Chloe Fiera, you are everywhere, and you got to actually attend this event, right?
Yes, I did. We were invited to a media event on the Disney Wish, oddly, to preview the Disney Destiny. But ahoy, everyone!
Awesome.
Hello.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about that. By the way, Chloe has written an awesome story because I get a lot of questions for people saying, which of the new ships should I do? And so she's detailed them all out. It's called Wish, Treasure, or Destiny. Which Disney Cruise Line ship should you choose? It's really awesome. She also has a ship, a chart with the different that lays out which intellectual properties are on there. So it's a great story. Thank you for doing that, Chloe. And we're going to detail the Destiny for you today. And of course, our amazing producer, Jimmy Valdez. He is here with us as always. Hello, Jimmy.
Hello. And my hat, I know my hat is from Ministry of Magic, but I'm too excited for Epic Universe, so I'm sorry for that.
I know. We're all excited. Well, I am wearing a Hercules shirt, so in theme with the Disney Destiny, hero or villain. We're going to get into the details about this cruise, but let me first get some of the business stuff out of the way. This show, along with everything we do at the Diz Unlimited, DCL fan, UO fan, Epic Universe coming soon. It's all brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. We're experts at helping you plan a magical Disney cruise, a visit to a magical Disney theme park, your Universal adventure. I'm headed to Epic next week. I'm so excited. Even other cruise lines. There's no additional cost to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel. None. We're going to give you insights into your Disney cruise ship, your Disney trip, your Universal vacation. We're all been there. This is what we do. So by booking your cruise with Dreams Unlimited Travel, you get a shipboard credit of up to $1,000, depending on the price of your cruise. And I hear people scoffing, saying nothing's for free, but this is one of these cases where you actually get free money to spend on board, and it doesn't cost you a dime. Not bad. The best way to get started, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. 2 other little notes by way of transparency. Elaine and I are Dreams Unlimited travel agents. This is our job. But we also really love Disney. We love Disney Cruise Line, and we want you to have the best time possible. Our job, both here on this podcast and as agents, is to give you the information so you can make the best decision for you and your family. We hope you book with Dreams. It allows us to do this podcast. But if you don't, we also hope you have an amazing trip. So, all right, got all that stuff out of the way. Just a reminder about the Disney Destiny. I mentioned a little bit of details about it, but the Disney Destiny is part of a big expansion by Disney Cruise Line. We learned that there will eventually be 13 Disney Cruise Line ships. It's hard for those of us who like to have been on all of them. They're making it harder for us. The Disney Destiny will have its inaugural cruise in November, just before Thanksgiving. The ship will be doing 3, 4, 5, and 7 night itineraries, sailing out of Fort Lauderdale, out of Port Everglades. It will go to the Bahamian Islands and to the Western Caribbean. And by the way, Get in Line on YouTube pointed out that I was pronouncing it wrong. It's Bahamian rather than Bohemian. So thank you, Get in Line, for letting me know that. The Disney Destiny will have a hero-villain theme. And we have The Lion King, Hercules, 101 Dalmatians, Marvel, The Incredibles. There's all sorts of Disney Imagineers have really been leaning into this theming. So we're going to talk about that. And just a note, if you are listening to this on podcast, we're going to do our best to describe some of what we're talking about. But if you go to dclfan.com, we have images. There's a bunch of stories out there. You'll be able to put it all together. And I will be pulling together a show notes that will have the links all right there, so you can make it nice and easy to find. Just find this podcast on dclfan.com. There you go. So, Chloe, you got to attend this event. You mentioned it was on the Disney Wish. Talk a little bit about what they did and how the day worked from a high level view, and then we're going to delve into each part of it. But it sounds like it was really a cool event.
Yeah, to be honest, I had attended basically the same event, sort of, for the treasure. That was last year. They took us over to the Disney Wish, and they had AR set up on tablets where you could move the tablet around like the Grand Hall or what was the other space? It was they took us to the oh my goodness, Keg and Cannon. It's the pub on the Disney Wish, but they took us in there to look at Periscope Pub on the Disney Treasure. So that's what I was expecting was going to happen again, but actually this time it was completely different. They shuttled us over to the Disney Wish once again, docked in Port Canaveral. It's always exciting to board a Disney ship, and it's kind of sad leaving it knowing you're not staying on it for
right. But you get on and get off. You're like, oh,
right. And we were getting off as vacationers were boarding the ship, and we can hear the announcements in the Grand Hall. So we're like, oh man, this stinks, but it was still a really cool experience. So they brought us on basically like the crew entryway. We went through like a separate security area and then boarded the ship on like I think it was level 2 or level 1.
Yeah, deck 2.
And then straight up to Hero Zone, which is the indoor sports complex. And they had a couple of what Disney likes to call activations there, where they had a few of the venues that are going to be on the Disney Destiny kind of like featured. So there was a table with Edna a la mode suite set up with cupcakes that we were able to try. There was a small bar with 2 of the drinks from the Sanctum set up, and they had kind of like a printed backdrop of the Sanctum. And then they had a table of all of the Disney Destiny merchandise. Unfortunately, it was a lot of blue and red lighting just for like effect, so we couldn't get like fantastic photos of that, but thankfully Disney released some official photos that we were able to feature. And then they had a first look at a lot of the art that's going to be incorporated onto the ship. So the stateroom art they announced that day. We got to see the stateroom number. They're usually like fish or seahorse or starfish on the other ships.
You used to call them fish extenders, but they're not fish anymore. Yeah. So we have to come up. Maybe our listeners will give us ideas for what we need to call these things now.
Right. Yeah. They also had a couple characters in there. So Spider-Man and Black Panther were in there from the get-go, and then later on they brought in superheroine Minnie Mouse with her new costume, because she's kind of like the I don't know, not the godmother of the ship, but she's kind of, I don't know, what would you say, the leader of the ship?
Like she's been on all 3.
Costume is awesome. Like that, when I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, like they went all out. They went all out on that picture. It's
right, and the Diz pulled together, and I'll have the links in the show notes. But the Diz pulled together a photo that had the minis from all 3 ships, because she's has a different outfit for all 3 ships. It's really awesome. Right. I mean, I love that they're giving it that kind of detail. I want to go to the Grand Ballroom, Great Hall. But before we do that, you said you got to do this with the treasure in kind of VR form, and then of course you've been on the treasure. Yes. How accurate was this? So how accurate do you think? I'm trying to do a compare and contrast.
Yeah, so I mentioned that because I was expecting the AR experience on this one. I was like, oh, they're going to bring us on and do the same tablet thing again so we can compare, and it's a fun, video or photo to share. But they didn't do that at all. They just brought us into that Hero Zone, and they talked about things they had concept art printed, and they showed it on a screen, which was still just as effective to be on the ship. And then we later had a lunch at 1923 that had a sampling of Disney Wish food, not necessarily Disney Destiny food, but we were able to have some cruise line lunch. However, going back to that treasure preview, it was very accurate to what the treasure ended up being. Of course, you're actually standing in the Wish Grand Hall, so it's kind of hard to feel like you're in the treasure Grand Hall and you're not actually. But by the look of it, what you could see in the tablet, it was very true to the concept art. And I know we all fell in love with the treasure within minutes of being within that grand hall. That carpet, the richness in the details, the warm golds, the blues, like I can't get enough of it. I have my own cruise booked on it later this year. I cannot wait to be back on that ship. So that said, I know you want to talk about the Grand Hall concept art for.
Well, and just I was going to say, they do that. They've done a good job of giving us some images. But let's go to the Grand Hall, because the initial kind of image they gave us of the Grand Hall was very loose. Like we saw Black Panther there, but not much else. So the new images that they've given us are much more, as you say, rich. And tell us a little bit what they told us about the Grand Hall. In fact, we even saw some video of the actual Black Panther and the Panther being constructed.
The details on that statue are gorgeous. They did like this like firing technique to make the eyes shine, and they look like real eyes on the Panther and then T'Challa, I believe. Yeah, I'm getting the names right?
Yep, good. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you. So the new concept art is essentially the opposite end of what the previous concept art showed. There is a lot more clarified, I would say, but you get to see the theater kind of setup that they do throughout the voyage. And then up above, there's a balcony with Loki peeking down. So you have another peek at more Marvel characters that will appear on the sailings. And then there was a lot of green lighting. The one thing, though, that I don't know why we don't have more information on is the chandelier. I feel like we have not been able to get a good view of the chandelier in the Grand Hall. And I don't know, like, I feel like we're getting like 30% of it in each of the concept art. And I know that they know what they're putting in at this point, right? The ship's debuting in 6-7 odd months. So I want to know what that chandelier fully looks like.
It looks like crystals from the concept art. But you're right. We don't know much about that. The green, so they apparently there's some lighting that they're doing for that space, and they've done that for the other two ships. Frankly, it looks a little, at least in the concept, I hoped it's better than what the concept art is, because the concept art looks a little Las Vegas to me. And like, I'm not that. We'll see how it actually looks when it's in there. Now, below that top, when you first walk in, if you haven't been on one of the Wish class ships yet, there's a stage in that great hall. But above the stage, there's a little lookout where there are often characters. In the concept art, Loki is there. Below it, it looks like there's almost like a infinity stone or something. And so maybe that green kind of radiates through the room. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. From what I understand, Chloe, that there's a Loki storyline. Did they tell you anything about that?
Not necessarily, no. They just said that they said that he's going to host some sort of, like you said, like a story or what they say, I'm sorry, like an interactive competition or something.
Some of the things that I've read on the Disney Parks blog was that he's going to like take over the ship, and this may be kind of a battle that goes on, kind of like a Marvel Day at Sea kind of thing. So it will be interesting. They didn't have a huge amount of details anywhere, so it will be interesting to see what it's like. And as you mentioned, I was really, really impressed with the detail on both the Black Panther and the Panther was so amazing that I can't wait to see them in real life and in person. Be really, really amazing.
Absolutely. And I know we'll probably see Thor in there too, because it's heroes and villains. So if Loki's
no
there,
doubt. Let's talk a little bit about another room that we hadn't seen anything about, which is the Sanctum on the Wish. For those of you playing along the home game, this is the Bayou. It's has a print Frog theme. On the Treasure, it's based on Jungle Cruise. It's called the Skipper Society. This one, the Sanctum, it has Doctor Strange theming, and at least in the concept art, you can actually see Doctor Strange. Kate back there has a very mystical feel to it. What more did they tell you about the Sanctum? And if I have the write up of all the drinks, but I don't. It looks very cool and fun.
Yeah, they haven't told us too much more besides like the additional image, so we have a better look at the full view because this is the kind of the central open air lounge on the ship. So I feel like it has the most room to kind of spread out, and they have a lot of seating options. And then there's a little stage, at least on the Bayou and the Skipper Society.
And the
There's a
treasure.
stage
Yep.
of the bar. Yeah, so I'm assuming Doctor Strange is going to come out, or maybe there's some musicians that will play some themed music there throughout the day. But I was able to try one of the beverages. It was the Vapors of Voltar, and it has the berry vapor bubbles on top, and it was pretty tasty, I'm not gonna lie. And it was really creative how they kind of stacked the vapor bubbles, because usually you see a drink with, you know, one big vapor bubble on top, but this one looks very like science experiment, and it's just like stacked and they pop and smell great, and it was cool. And then the other drink is kind of like served in this upside down like Bunsen or beaker with a lemon peel twisted around the stem that's upside down. So really creative drinks. They do with
That's
these.
called the Circle of the Cosmos. Just Elaine, because I know you, the Vapors of Valor is Grey Goose vodka, ginger beer, fresh lime juice, and a butterfly pea flower syrup topped with a berry flavored bubbles. There you go.
That sounds so freaking fun. Like fun stuff like that. I mean, that's just that. It sounds so fun.
Did they bring out so they're going to have, you know, on the other ships they have they have beignets for the Princess and the Frog themed the Bayou, and on the Jungle Cruise they have these waffles. From what I understand, the Sanctum is going to have these stuffed waffles. You can either get them stuffed with custard cream filling or mixed berry compote filling. Did you get to try those?
Sadly, no. I would have shared those first and foremost, because I cannot wait to try those. They look so good. And what is it with the Wish class and waffle makers? Like, what's going on? They look good though. I can't wait.
I know they did a bunch around, because I've seen a bunch of videos around the Cruella de Vil. The Cruella de Vil, they have Piano Lounge. Again, on the Wish, this is Nightingales. On Treasure, this is the Scat Cat Lounge, based on the Aristocats. It's the bar just off the Great Hall, the Grand Hall. And one of the things that I saw was this popcorn in a martini glass, and then a strawberry shortcake popcorn stuff, and then these drinks, which sounded like a little bit much for my taste, but this also looks like I have to say that Scat Cat Lounge was one of my unseen, like something I didn't expect to really enjoy on the Treasure, so I'm kind of looking forward to this space on the Destiny.
Yeah, definitely. So this wasn't on the Wish portion of our media preview, but they did bring us back to the Contemporary, and in the convention center they held this sort of themed space to Cruella. Yeah, and Cruella herself came out, which leads me to wonder, like, will she ever make appearances inside her lounge on the Destiny? Who knows? Because I feel like, you know, Cinderella doesn't make an appearance in Nightingales, and the Aristocats aren't really characters. I mean, I guess they could have Marie, but I don't know. I feel like Cruella fits in more naturally, though, to come visit this nighttime lounge. However, I was able to try, the popcorn was actually pretty good. And then I was able to try the, it's called the Fashionista. And it's strawberry banana infused tequila. And I liked that a lot. It was pretty sweet, but I like a good tequila drink, and that was pretty tasty.
So, Elaine, just to this is freeze-dried strawberry and banana-infused Patron, the tequila, with a banana liqueur, agave nectar, and fresh lime juice, clarified with milk and chilled. And it's served with this strawberry shortcake popcorn. And it does look. I love that the glasses that they're doing. So there's another drink there called the Fearless Sir Galahad, and it has a container that it's served in that looks like, oh my god, I just escaped from 101 Dalmatians. His pipe. It kind of looks like his pipe. Let's move to one of the things, another location that I'm really looking forward to. Pride Lands Feast of the Lion King, of course, on the Wish. This is Arendelle, and the treasure, it's Plaza de Coco. This is the dining room that has very themed, almost has a kind of show that goes on in it. Did they give you any insights about that? I think they were showing off some of the food there, right?
They showed off some of the foods. We were able to sample some of the dishes, and then they later released all the information because I do not have anything memorized as to what they were, but I can describe it. So it really reminded me of the menus from like Boma or Sanaa at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, where they toe the line of like an Indian or African inspired dish, but it's still going to please the majority of, guests' palates. I had a fish dish that had this really great coconut rice, and the fish itself was really tender and tasted great, seasoned well. I tried this, it was like a shrimp and cornmeal, I want to say, dish that was really good.
Mulberry shrimp curry is what they call it. So
Yes, that was good. And then the dessert, the chocolate malva cake, it has this like little almond brittle on the top of it, but the chocolate cake itself, it's kind of like a molten chocolate cake, if you will. So it's really rich and decadent. And yeah, that's going to be my go-to dessert whenever I go to that restaurant. As far as entertainment, they did have two really excellent singers perform Circle of Life and I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And they were amazing, but they weren't dressed in any special costumes. And then there was no, puppets or no sort of preview of what kind of character representation there will be in the show. So that's all sort of a mystery. We have an idea that they'll sing, beloved Lion King songs during the dinner. And since this is a ship that has 4 and 5 night itineraries, some people will dine in the restaurant twice in a voyage. So they did say there's going to be 2 different presentations and 2 different menus there too. I can't wait for it. I love Lion King. I wish we got a little bit more of a sneak peek as to exactly what we could expect, because I feel like there was more revealed in the concept art itself in terms of like what the performers were wearing for costumes. It seems like it's closer to the Lion King Broadway production.
Right.
But I'm still hoping for like a surprise. I don't know, like Simba, maybe a baby animatronic or a cool puppet of sorts, because we're so used to, Festival of the Lion King at Animal Kingdom and the old Lion King production that was where Mickey's PhilharMagic is now in Magic Kingdom. So we're so used to the characters being such a big presence, or even like the puppets in the Broadway production, if they could kind of incorporate those into the storytelling. Because they can't bring, live lions, I guess, onto the ship, right?
This is Disney. They can do anything. I mean, come on now. But
Elaine,
do we think it's going to be, I think that a lot of times I just feel like anytime I see anything that is Lion King, besides Festival of Lion King, because it's amazing, that it's kind of like hosted by Timon and Pumbaa kind of a thing. Do we think it's going to be like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, Timon is such an easy character they could have come out. I hope it's not just Timon, a furry Timon.
I know. I'm not saying I hope it's that. I'm saying it seems like a lot of that kind of stuff, that's the way it skews.
And Elaine, some of the names, I love the names of some of the drinks that they have in this space. Can You Feel the Rum Tonight? I thought that was very cute.
It was not my favorite. It had like cinnamon and amarula, and I think it was mango and mint. It was like one too many things.
Mango smoothie. So it's a Star 7-year oak aged rum, amaretto armallara cream liqueur. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Amarula, I think. Yeah.
The other drink that I really thought was quite creative, it was slimy yet satisfying, and this is non-alcoholic, but it has little gummy worms in it. They're like, oof, not for me, but there you go. Kids will love it. And they also will have a hyena sipper, which is Ed, one of the 3 hyenas that will be in that space. So Chloe, let's quickly shift to and just spend a moment on Edna a la Mode Sweets. This is the specialty ice cream sweets in Sweet Store, Deck 11 Aft, right near Marceline Market. On the Wish, it's themed around Inside Out. Treasure, it's Jambalaya Sweets, based on
Jumbo.
Zootopia.
Mm-hmm.
Did you got some of the stuff to taste? It was what my sense, right?
Yes. So they had one of the cupcakes, which was it was like a purple velvet vanilla cupcake, and then it had vanilla mousse on top. It was good. It was a cupcake. I'm not a huge Disney cupcake person. However, I did try
It always feels like they're more for Instagram than anything else, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's not really to eat; it's to show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. The one thing I did try though that was surprising, it's kind of like a chocolate hockey puck where they have like enema paste painted on top, but I bit into this thing and it is solid chocolate until you get to the middle where there's like 2 or 3 Oreos stacked in there, and then there's
Ooh.
leche inside. It was really good. I just don't know how you eat it without like
Ooh.
a sharp kitchen knife and smash it in half or something.
and does it come with a side of insulin? My goodness,
it's insane. I had 2 but it was pretty good.
And they've also showed the characters that are going to be in there. They also look really quite amazing. I hope they have cookies in there too for Yum Yums.
There should be Num Cookie Sunday for sure. They didn't say anything about that, but there's always surprise treats that they release when it's officially open. So I'm sure they'll incorporate Num Num Cookie in some way.
Elaine and I get a lot of questions about staterooms, and just again, I'll have this in the show notes. But Hercules and Mulan will be on decks 2, 6, and 7, so those will be one of the 2 characters. Raya and Brave will be on decks 8 and 9. Big Hero 6 and the Incredibles will be on decks 10 and 11. Concierge will have Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey as their fish extender, for lack of a better term, until we get a new one. The Royal Suites will be themed around Incredibles and Hercules, and the Tower Suite will be themed around Iron Man. They showed us some of the art. They showed you guys some of the art, and then they've blasted it out. But these will be the art that goes behind the bed. Very cool. And again, we'll have links to it in the show notes so you can find it. But it looks really nice and well done, much like the other ships. But they've done a good job with this in matching. Yeah. And I assume each floor will have kind of theme that goes all the way through it, right?
Yes, they typically do that with the carpet, like by the elevator bay. It'll match the theme of the rooms on that deck. Man, I didn't know Concierge was going to have the Fantasia. I'm bummed because I don't think I'll ever be Concierge, and that was my favorite art from the release. I also really like the Hercules one though too, and the Mulan one was beautiful with the cherry blossoms. And I feel like Mulan's finally starting to get some more love on Disney Cruise Line because we had the Jade Cricket Cafe on the Treasure. I just love how each of the ships are so intertwined. There's so much. Like there was Lion King rooms on the Treasure, and now we have a Lion King dinner show on the Destiny. It's crazy.
And they also showed they have different fish extenders for each of these, which are really, again, very creative. There was one that I don't know what it's themed around, but all the other ones were like the Incredibles I got. Concierge will have a Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey. So we'll at least be able to go and see those, Chloe. We'll take pictures at the of their fish extenders at least, but it really kind of cool. The thing I'm most excited about, and I was even more excited, particularly coming off the Disney Treasure, where they have this just amazing show based on what the name just escaped my head, Moana, based on Moana, the Hercules show. So they'll have a brand new show themed around Hercules. In the Moana show, they have this amazing puppet. The same person who created that puppet is going to create a puppet, and I have it here on my shirt, of the Hydra, the multi-headed Hydra that looked, at least from the concept art, looks so cool. But you guys got to hear a couple of the songs. There's going to be a new song, and of course, I mean, really, I'm looking forward to it. It sounded great.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of our wish portion of the day, they sat us in the Walt Disney Theater, and there was a big screen that just had the Hercules logo on it, the Hercules production logo on it, which in of itself is really cool because Hercules was one of the first Disney Cruise Line productions way back in the day. I think it was on the Magic it debuted, and it's been long gone, so it's really cool to see it back, and it's going to be better than ever. So we sat down in the theater, and they had the show creator, the choreographers, and then one of the like kind of master of puppets come out. He's worked with Henson, and he's worked on the Tale of Moana as well, but he was able to kind of delve into the details of the giant Hydra puppet that they're going to have in the show, and then also the Titans. But really, what was really cool to hear was how they saw or we all, whoever has seen the Tale of Moana on the Treasure knows that that's arguably the best production. They've kind of set the bar really high for the future of the Disney Cruise Line productions. And they themselves said that they wanted to one-up themselves on Moana with Hercules. So this show is going to be incredible. They then shared that they just got back from a worldwide tour to find their perfect cast of Hercules characters. So they went to London, New York, LA, Atlanta, and then they revealed that they found their Hercules, or one of their Hercules. His name is Corey J. Bradford, and he came out and sang Go the Distance. And guys, I got chills. It was amazing. Not wait to see this show. I know we posted a clip on our Instagram as well of him singing because it was beautiful. Cannot wait to see it. And then they did reveal.
I was hearing it just on Instagram, and I was like getting chill. Like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to be and see that show. It just looks amazing.
They were really, all of them are so excited about this show. They were talking up the lavish costumes. There's a lot of intricate beading, the way that the robes kind of drape, and they're just very luxurious looking. Because when you think of, Grecian, it's just kind of like, oh, bed sheets,
right.
So they really found a way to make this look more elegant and upscale for a stage show production. And then they were talking about like the set elements and the props. They said that they were really inspired by, because it's like a gospel show and the music is inspired by pop, rock, and soul. They found a lot of inspiration from Jesus Christ Superstar, and you'll find like some similar elements in the show from that. And then they did reveal that one of the songs that was actually cut from the original film, called Shooting Star, will be in this production too. So I love like little tidbits like that of things that we, could have loved from the film that everybody, it's such a beloved story from Disney. To finally have a piece of, something from that 90s movie now in this show is really cool.
That's absolutely hilarious that they said that they are taking inspiration from Jesus Christ Superstar. When I said that 2 shows ago about the Little Mermaid show on the Wish, I said that is Jesus Christ Superstar 1000%. And it's so funny that they said that. Yeah, that is funny. As different show creators. Oh, go ahead.
Go.
Sorry.
No, you go.
I know it's the same lead show creator as Tale of Moana. It's a different person for Little Mermaids. That is funny. But the choreographer specifically said that they found a lot of inspiration from that show. But yeah, I mean.
Well, and the choreography on the Moana show is just beyond the I mean, like, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 15. I mean, it's just so well done. So I'm so happy to see they're bringing this team back and going to do this, and they're saying, okay, let's bring it on, let's do it. So it's going to be great. The last part we want to talk about, well, at least the last part on my list, you may have other things, Chloe, but the last thing that I had was merch, because they also did a whole bunch of merch, and they kind of have both the inaugural season collection, but also all the character kind of collection. And you got to see, I mean, they have those cute plushes, Minnie and Mickey plushes that are just look so awesome.
Yeah, they're really cute. They have a full superhero collection where the Fab 5 or 6, I think it is now, are called Hydro Heroes. And so they have like very primary color centric superhero costumes. Yeah. What's interesting to me though is that the Minnie Mouse plushie, and even like the Loungefly that features her costume is different than her actual official meet and greet costume in the superheroine look. So I don't know if they like changed the look or what happened, but it's a little different. Regardless, it's a really cute collection. I'm gonna be a little devil's advocate here right now, though. I feel like, Disney owns. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking. Disney owns so much of the brands out there, Star Wars, Marvel, and I feel like since they've come to own IPs like that, they don't really mix Mickey, Minnie, and their friends with those costumes as much as they used to. And I would have loved to have seen Minnie Mouse maybe dress up as a different Marvel superhero character every day of the cruise, and that would kind of like build up revisitability to go see her again. Maybe today she's like in a Hulk inspired outfit, maybe another time she's in a Spider-Man inspired dress. Like I felt like that would have like drawn on, and you could have come out with a whole merch line of Mickey and Minnie with Marvel inspired looks.
Well, now they have something for the post inaugural year. On the second year of the ship, they can do that, start doing that, right?
I did hear something that was part of the whole like Star Wars deal, is that Mickey and Minnie, and I know Goofy was like Darth Vader, none of them could ever appear in those costumes ever again. So I don't know if there's some kind of deal with that, like Marvel. I don't know, but it's very. I do have a question that's along these lines of have they. And this is just me like thinking out loud, and maybe they said something in all of this as far as character meet and greets. All of these themes open up so many opportunities for meet and greets with these characters, for Incredibles, for Baymax and Hercules, and like all of these Marvel characters and that kind of thing. I can only assume that they will have more of those characters as meet and greets on this ship. And, the ships themselves, all of them are so meet and greet heavy. I mean, you can meet there is no short of opportunities to get your picture taken. And I just wonder if they are going to push out princesses and kind of like minimize their presence on this ship, or if it's because I feel like if they have all of these princess meet and greets going on at the time, that's going to be out of place. Or like I'm thinking about the clash of these worlds.
Clash of the Titans.
Right.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they work this, because I mean, as I mentioned earlier, Chloe has a great story about the princess. The Wish feels very princess, right, as opposed to this one, which does have that hero villain theme. But we'll see how it works. Chloe, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I could still see them bringing out classic princesses like Cinderella, Snow White, roaming. They typically roam like the upper levels of the Grand Hall, and then they almost always have that scheduled princess meet and greet in the Grand Hall too. So I could definitely see them continuing that just to appease a little bit of everybody. I don't think they'll completely eliminate them from the ship because, I mean, even on the Wish and the Treasure, they still have scheduled meet and greets with Marvel and Star Wars characters. Even I met C-3PO on the Fantasy recently. But like they'll have I don't know, they have like Black Panther and Spider-Man meeting in the Marvel Kids Club, and that's open for all ages. They're not necessarily roaming the ship, but I feel like princesses are a little more quintessential Disney, that they'll still have them around there. But who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us.
Yeah. I just wonder if they'll minimize that and not have, 20 princesses a day, but maybe they're going to have 5 princesses and then be able to bring in all of these other characters that they're representing.
Right. Yeah.
Any of the foods particularly stand out to you that you like, okay, I cannot wait to get back on the ship and taste this, or any that, and any on the contrast that you said, ooh, I'm not having that when I get on board?
I mean, I'm excited for the Lion King menu. From what I tried, I really enjoyed it. I like the unique approach to how these dinner shows they all boast unique menus. The Wish being my least favorite with all the cold Nordic salmon, but I love Plaza de Coco, and from what I tried with the Lion King one, it seems really great. They didn't really clarify if there'd be any differences from 1923 or Worlds of Marvel. I assume it's going to be the same thing that you see, especially on the Treasure with those longer voyages. You get to try more of the menu, which, I mean, I enjoyed the Treasure menus on Worlds of Marvel, I really liked that there. Yeah, they didn't really have us try too much outside of Lion King. I can't wait to go to the Sanctum because a lot of those drinks seem really creative and fun. And then they didn't talk about it at all, but I really can't wait for Cask and Cannon, which is the pirate themed pub that will be on the Destiny. So that's something to look out for in the future because we did not get any news on that
and we haven't gotten much at all about that. I mean, it's been very quiet on that front. We hardly know. Do we even have concept? We have a very sketchy concept art, but not much on that space at all.
Right, and well, it kind of pairs well with the Disney Parks Pirates Pub or Pirates Tavern that's supposed to come to Adventureland. So I'm wondering if we're waiting for, one or the other to have more information before they just release both, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of similarities there. But I mean, Elaine knows. Elaine's a huge fan of Pirate Night, and that pub is going to be
as soon as they announce it, I was like, yes, I know where I'm going to be this whole cruise.
Right. Yeah, the joke around the office is if you want to find Elaine, that's where you're going to find her on the Disney Destiny. Anything else that we didn't talk about that I should have asked you about or we should talk about?
I just wanted to delve into the merchandise a little bit more. I know
sure.
we talked about the inaugural merchandise, and then there's a Spirit jersey, which I have a question for everybody, and I might pose this in an article too because I'm very curious. So, as a Disney and Universal fan, I have a harsh rule for myself. I even keep spare clothes in my car. So if I'm going to park hop between Disney and a Universal park, I have to change. I can't wear something Disney and Universal and something Universal at Disney.
I love you so much.
It's
I adore you.
Okay.
And me too, by the way.
Yeah. So one of the new items, we have a Spirit jersey for the Disney Destiny with Spider-Man on the back. Am I okay to wear that at Universal?
Does it say Disney Destiny?
I feel really weird about it.
It does. It says Disney Destiny, Spider-Man, of course, on the back. They do a Spirit jersey.
Yeah.
I'm a Spirit jersey person, so I always have my Spirit jerseys. But it says Disney Destiny on the back. It's the more modern kind that they're doing for all the ships. So it's dark up top and light on the bottom, but has Spider-Man just like he is on the back of the ship. So he's But I don't know. I probably, for me personally, because I have, 7 other Spider-Man shirts, I would wear one of those. But I think you could get away with it if you wanted to.
I could get away with it. I know.
Yes, I agree with you. I have a hard and fast rule. I do not wear Disney to Universal. When you see people at Universal wearing Mickey ears, it drives me insane. Right. Like, I went to Universal with someone that he had been there before, and his entire wardrobe is Disney clothes. And so he was wearing a Hey Hey shirt from Moana. And I was so mad. And I'm like, what are you doing? You are not going into this park with me wearing that shirt. And gave him grief about it. And every ride we went to, one of the team members from Universal would compliment him on the shirt. Like,
oh no. What kills me is the
entire day. Yeah.
It's Etsy made Harry Potter themed Mickey Mouse ears. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. Right. Or Minion themed ears.
Yes. I'm like, what are you doing? We just have probably had a whole lot of people unsubscribe right now.
Yeah, I know. Well, we get into our themes. It's okay. It's my concern with the some of the non-inaugural stuff for the Disney Destiny is it's kind of black on black. So you have black Disney Destiny lettering on a black T-shirt, and
it's very trendy.
No one's ever going to. Yeah, I know it is. It's not but it's not me. I mean, look at me. I'm hardly. I always tell people I gave up. Any sort for my 50s. Now I'm just out there and I wear whatever I want. So
I appreciate that too. Though I wear what you want, But the black on black or the gray on gray, that monochromatic color scheme is very trendy. I'm going to be picking up that has it's black with the Disney Destiny logo kind of like embossed, but then the strap has kind of like a Wakanda themed pattern on it. So it's subtle, awesome, but it looks really nice.
Well, I will be definite. I need to see the merch in person before I decide which of all of them I buy. So, it will get there, but
he says which, but what he really means is he'll buy all of them.
I know you. I know which of all of them. When I buy all of them, I'll have to see them in person. Chloe, this looks like a really. I mean, at least from afar, I got more excited about this ship, and it seemed like you did, as I saw you talking about it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, so I was really hesitant boarding the Treasure last year because I really did not enjoy my experience on the Wish. I was one of the lucky ones to be on the christening voyage. So it was before the maiden voyage, before any guests were on board and on the Wish, and it was not completed, and I didn't love the feel of it. I was so used to the warmth and detail of any of the previous ships. I sailed on the Dream and Fantasy a lot years back. So comparing that to the Wish, I was just kind of scared about the future of the Wish class. The Treasure changed my mind. There are still, areas that I won't forgive them for, one hot tub and the small adult pool, but the Treasure's venues and the detail and the crew and the service on the Treasure really sets it apart from the Wish for me. So I have high hopes for the Destiny too. I had a really nice experience on the Treasure. Like I said, I booked my own cruise later this year to go back on the Treasure. So I'm excited for the Destiny. I'm not a huge Marvel person, but my significant other is, and we both love Lion King. We both love Hercules. We're millennials. So I'm very, very excited for the Destiny. Cannot wait.
No, it should be. I'm going to be sailing into the new year on the Disney Destiny, so we're doing a New Year's Eve cruise on board, and I'm taking two 14-year-olds. So I don't know what I thought when I agreed to that, but I think they'll get a big kick out of all the Marvel stuff, and I think they'll find it a really fun space. So we will, of course, write back. And just for you guys to know, we're going to go through. Actually, Chloe's article spurred me to do this. We're going to look at the each class of ships and why one would choose one over the other and what you can know about them and stuff like that. Give you a little download on, and so that'll be coming up in the weeks ahead as we delve in. And Chloe doesn't know yet, but she's going to join us for a bunch of those. So,
I love
yeah, Chloe, anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so. I'm
all
good.
Right. Elaine, anything we need to cover?
I think we've hit everything. I think awesome. I'm looking at my notes. I think we're good.
Good. Well, thank you so much for being here. With that, we're going to bring this ship to shore. We'd, of course, as we always say, we'd love for you to book with Dreams Unlimited Travel. Literally, it helps pay for what we do here. And I'll tell you, I was a Dreams client before I was a Dreams agent, so I know that there's a value there. Best place to start, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. First page, you're going to select your cruise and your itinerary. Second page, you at the very top, there's a pull-down menu of all the Dreams agents. They're all so awesome. So you can select one or you don't have to. But Elaine, if folks want to that's the best way to get to all of us. But if you want to reach out to Elaine, if you have a question, how can people reach out to you?
My email is Elaine, ELAINE @dreamsunlimitedtravel.com.
And Chloe, of course, you can see on the Diz Unlimited. You can see her read her on DCLfan.com, UOfan.com. She's her stories are always great. One of my favorites that she did, of course, I mentioned the comparison of the three ships, but she also has a fantastic write through of the Disney Treasure deck by deck, so you can kind of see what is where. And I always send it out to clients to make sure, hey, here's a good resource. So you get to know the ship. It's really great. Chloe, thanks for everything you do, and thanks for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to make that Destiny deck by deck plan. Really excited.
I know. It's the next one coming up, right? Of course, If you want to reach me, Chris V at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Yes, there's a Chris at Dreams Unlimited. So if you want to reach me, Chris V. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Depending on where you're watching, hearing, however you're getting us, if you can subscribe, leave us a review. It really does help. I know it seems so simple, but it's apparently there's these things called algorithms, and they really watch them. But that's one of the great ways to help us. And if you have topics you'd like to share, you can post them on YouTube comments, or we have a DCL fan Facebook page. You can post it there, or you can just email me, chrisv@dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. With that, thank all of you guys, and thank you. And with that, safe travels, and we'll see you real soon.